Furion picks up Lee Sin here and then leaves Scudzy on something like a Rek'Sai or a Gragas, maybe. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Hado prioritize something like a Braum. Every team seems to be putting so much pressure on Braum being an early pick in the rotation, and actually, given the last series, he didn't have a great win rate. It's going to be the Karma prioritized, though, I imagine, for Hado. This is something that MNM did last week. They loved Karma.
Yeah, they absolutely did. And Karma was banned in every game last series, so that's actually slipped on through this time around. And Larson obviously got his Rise banned away. I wouldn't have been too surprised to see the Rise as a first pick if that hadn't been banned, just because of how powerful Larson can be on it.
Sure.
But the Karma is going to be locked in. Where do you think this one's going to be going? Because we have seen a little bit of Karma mid, a little bit of Karma support. Generally support, though.
I would imagine support. I don't think she's strong enough as a mid laner to, unless you're putting in her in like a full utility role, she's not strong enough to be a proper mid lane carry. Hado has played so much Karma support as well that I imagine this is where he'll likely be taking this particular champion. You can already see a lot of thought coming in for XL here. They're actually going to pick up the Lee Sin, so take that away from Furion. That is some big cojones on the side of Scudzy right there, because you're going up against Furion's Lee Sin, which is just fantastic. And they're going to get the Syndra specifically for Zandia here.
Yeah, and I mean, Zandia was a standout player for XL in their previous series, and I would have loved to see them go for the Z, like hold off on that mid pick, see if they got a decent matchup and just go for it.
Against Larson, just not going to happen.
Yeah, especially leaving Syndra open in this meta would have been incredibly dangerous.
So I actually think this is something that we need to highlight. I think Zandia's got a point to prove here. You know, Zandia could be considered one of the top UK, mid laners for sure, maybe top European anyway. I think he's going to have to put a lot of work into this particular matchup against Larson to really prove how good he is, because he didn't perform very well in the first game and stepped it up over the course of that series. I want to see Zandia come out all guns blazing as we see Zac locked in for Furion and XD Smiley going to get his hands on Jhin.
Absolutely, that's two huge power picks coming on through as well for MNM. That's, if you're on the side of XL, that's going to be a little bit disconcerting, but Jokerism
Varus?
Locks in Varus, and that's got to be Varus AD carry as well, because if it was going to be mid, why would Zandia not just lock it? So, deciding that he says, you know what, Jhin, you're pretty long range, but not as long range as the Varus.
I've started to see Varus come in more and more to the bot lane to counteract Jhin, because he's moderately low mobility in the early game. You just put so much pressure down over and over again with those long-range piercing arrows that he actually can't respond very easily. And even then, when his ultimate comes down, you can just throw down your ultimate as well. You start trying to stop the engage of his team following up from the curtain call. So yeah, I like the pickup of Jhin here. This is something that Jokerism probably has had planned. You don't just randomly pick Varus without actually having a complete game plan behind the pick. So this is probably like, if they pick Jhin, I pick Varus. That's just how it works. And it's going to be the Janna as well for Orcs, so taking a slightly different role, super passive in this particular instance.
Yeah, Orcs doing his very best e-girl impression, locking in the Janna right there. But I really like
none of that right here. I'll have you know that they also play Sona.
That is true. And I think Nami goes above Sona even, I would say. But let's move on. Let's move on.
My most played support in the recent few days has been Nami.
Are you basically trying to tell me that you are in fact an e-girl?
I think everyone knows that.
I think we already knew that by the sheer vast number of selfies you post a day.
I actually don't post that many selfies, but I do sell out
quite a lot of selfies.
When was the last time I posted a selfie?
Probably today.
No.
Probably yesterday then.
No.
Either way, we'll not go through the days of the week.
It's over a month.
I really don't think it is.
I'm guaranteed.
But either way, let's move on.
I'll make a bet with you.
Selfie
two League of Legends
habits.
gold coins for over a month.
No, mate. I refuse to bet. I refuse to condone gambling here at the ESL UK Premiership.
Okay,
I can point out, though, that Tolkien has locked in Yasuo once again against Only Angel. Let's just kind of bear in mind, Only Angel, the killer of Alphari, Alphari Slayer himself.
What a meme.
Is he going to be able to pull this one out against the Echo? I mean, looking at these lineups, both of these teams have some serious powerhouse picks here.
But you're looking at MNM, who have got star-studded meta roster against traditionally, as what we've come to expect from XL, just we pick what we want. like it doesn't really make much sense, but we pick what we want. And I guess this is the point where we should go back and look at these compositions now, Munchables, because
I'd say that's fair.
The key point, we want to make sure we outline what we think they're going to be bringing to the table. So, Echo, Zac, Vladimir, Jhin, and Karma. Now, obviously, it speaks for itself, the kind of pressure you can put down in a team fight with an Echo, a Zac, and a Vladimir, and just combine Jhin and Karma to that, it's even more fantastic. Open up with Curtain Call, Karma shield to speed everyone up, get Echo into a stun position, Vladimir gets big AoE down. They have a really good team fight. It speaks for itself. Good control, good team-wide damage, good CC with Zac. It all rolls nicely into one ball. How does this play into what XL are bringing to the lineup, though, Munch? What are XL bringing here? I mean, in terms of champions.
Solo queue.
Solo queue,
is the word that comes to mind, with the Lee Sin in the jungle, Yasuo in the top lane, Syndra in the mid lane. What they're bringing is high risk, high reward, but to be honest, I don't really feel like it all fits together that well. It's like they've kind of bought two jigsaws and then mixed the boxes together, and now they're trying to piece it all together, but you've got a Varus there for like long range, drawn out siege and poke, but then you've got the likes of Lee Sin and Syndra and Yasuo doesn't even want to be there. He wants to be split pushing. And then Lee Sin and Syndra, they want to go for that all-in engage. So it's kind of like three different styles of team from the three different lanes. So
even if I'm going to give my straight-up prediction here, XL are going to get crushed with this composition. Now, I'll talk to you. I know it's a pretty brutal thing to say, but I'll talk to you why. That top lane matchup can go towards Yasuo, sure. And Yasuo, if XL have a chance of winning, it's going to be all on Tolkien. Specifically because obviously his split push will be so important. But XL, they can't team fight. They lose the team fight. They can't siege, because imagine sieging into Zac and opening up with a curtain call. You just don't siege into that. It's almost impossible for you to siege into. The saving grace is Janna stopping the Zac engage. Now, the only way XL have to win is they have a win lane, win game strategy that they can siege, and they're not really worried about the damage output that MNM are going to have. But I feel like taking MNM on in a win lane, win game strategy is so risky, and you've got to be full of confidence as XL to take this one on. But if this goes even, honestly, don't see a way that XL composition, unless they make picks, which against Vladimir is hard, against Echo is hard. The only person you can really make a pick against is Jhin, but he's never going to really put himself in a position where that's going to be too relevant. It's just risky for XL. It's a super risky composition that doesn't really have a global strategy in mind, other than we've picked specifically to counter the people we're playing up against.
So what you're saying is it's a high risk, low reward strategy.
High risk. No, there is reward in it, because if it does pay off, then they can snowball pretty insanely. Their actual snowball in terms of siege is good. But you're going up against a really nicely rounded composition where you're relying on Tolkien to be only Angel first off. And you've got great siege, but you're sieging into a team that can almost instantaneously start a team fight under a turret with absolute ease, with the Zac and the curtain call and the speed up from the Karma shield. You basically imagine this. I'm Varus, just throwing some arrows down into the turret. Here's the turret here. I'm with you. Throwing it.
I'm picturing it in my head.
And then what happens is I just suddenly see a Vladimir with a Karma shield running at me, going psh, like this, doing the Hemo Plague. And then you have Zac jumping.
I thought you were Cassiopeia then.
And then you have Zac throwing the long-range elastic slingshot, opening up with the curtain call. There's no way you can defend against that. Janna is your only hope, and she can't do everything for you. So, yeah, this is almost moderately risky coming out from XL. They've got a lot of work to do.
Almost moderately risky, strong statement coming out from X-Control there. And we'll see how this one is going to pan out for them. I've got to say, I agree with you. This is going to be a tricky one to pull off. I think it is fair to say.
Jokerism confidently locked in Varus. There's a game plan somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously... I really hope that they have practiced this composition.
I hope they've just gone through Champs League. They've been like, do you know what, boys? I feel like playing Varus today.
Let's rock and roll, boys. But we'll have to wait and see, as we are going to be jumping onto Summoner's Rift. So let's kick this game off and see what these teams have to bring to the table.
So here we go, getting straight onto the Rift. XL, coming from a very long best of 3, have locked in a very aggressive composition that I really think relies on Tolkien's ability to consistently apply split push pressure. And then when it comes to the siege, they have to be super careful. I think they siege after making a pick. I think that's the game plan. They make a siege after making a pick. So you pick off with Syndra, you pick off with the Varus ultimate, and then you siege, because you take one of those nicely said jigsaw puzzle pieces away from MNM, and then you're kind of left with a sort of half-empty picture, which may not be enough for MNM to defend against this heavy poke siege.
Well, we'll see. whether MNM are going to have an answer for that situation. But I feel like the answer might be that they will do so. And I think a lot of this is going to be down to how this laning phase will pan out, how these guys are going to be able to do in the early stages of the game. What do you think about this jungle matchup? Because this is the first time we've actually seen Zac in the Premiership. Because I think we saw it once last week as well, but yeah, obviously it's a hero we've been kind of raving about. There's been a lot of bans toward it, but the Lee Sin Zac specific matchup, how do you think that one pans out?
Zac's got a better counter gank, I would say. I think it really relies on trying to react to Lee Sin's plays. I definitely think that if Zac goes in first, then Lee Sin has the advantage. But if Zac comes in and interrupts an already present gank for Scudzy, then that was risky, but totally went for it.
Just like the composition.
Yeah, just like the composition. They're playing
XL
on the edge.
living on the
Look
edge.
at Scudzy though; he's going straight in.
Yeah. And this is, I think, the correct play against a Zac, because you know that when he's going for that jungle clear, he will get incredibly low. And as Lee Sin, you can more than happily punish that one. You do have to execute on your Q. And Furion, he's been found out, and his passive might be in trouble.
Oh, nice
misses
dodge.
the Sonic Wave. Furion sidesteps that one quite happily. And actually, Scudzy just going to be pushed away from this jungle.
And Scudzy's not had enough yet. He's going to keep applying pressure here to Furion.
I'm not 100% sure Furion should have kept on chasing on that one. That's going to be his passive popped, and actually that means he's in a lot of trouble. The blobs are getting finished off, and there's first blood. Zandia picks it up. Furion maybe a little bit overconfident on that one. I think I've
underestimated XL here, Munchables. They have really come out swinging.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how you start things off, and as well, that is going to be the Cell Division passive for Furion on cooldown for quite some time. So Scudzy should be able to just continue to roll his way through whatever side of the jungle he so feels like at the time. There's going to be a lot down to the laners of MNM to actually punish him for that, because right now Furion will not be able to win that 1v1. Larson actually almost losing the 1v1 in the mid lane as well.
What is going on here?
Paul goes down. Zandia, I mean, you said he has to prove himself in this mid lane. You said that he's going up against Larson. He's got to make a statement. He's absolutely doing so.
Well, XL have held nothing back here against MNM. And look, I'll be frank. I genuinely didn't think this composition had legs. But they're taking it to the absolute extremes. They are saying, no, we're going to play this as a full aggressive composition. We aim to win the lane. We aim to win the game. And already putting pressure onto Furion like that as Scudzy's got to feel pretty good. But here comes Zandia.
Yeah, Zandia went a little bit deep on this one. Scudzy is around its jungle and support, trying to finish off this mid laner as Larson comes back in. But Scudzy's trying to finish him off. Red buff will do it. The ward hop to safety. Can he escape? Yes, he can. Flash still available. Scudzy hops in, grabs a kill, and hops on out again.
Can't believe it.
Flash
Larson!
forward, though. Larson grabs one to trade it back. Here comes Orcs, though, to finish off yet another one. Furion trying to escape and will be able to do so. But all in all, it's a 2-for-1 for XL. They are 3-1 up right now.
I don't even know if MNM were expecting this kind of pressure coming out from XL at the beginning. Nice roam by Orcs to counter the roam by Haddo as well. And look at Jokerism applying pressure to Smiley here. It's looking not bad at all for the boys in the orange, white and black. I think that's the correct colour scheme for XL. And honestly, Zandia really putting up an impressive performance, as is Scudzy. He's not afraid of the name, and that's what you need to do when you go into these kind of competitions. You don't be afraid of the roster you're going up against. Play like your life depends on it, and they are playing a solid game thus far. Tolkien as well, starting to open up a CS lead on Only Angel, forcing him back to everybody from XL playing their little hearts out.
Yeah, and I've got to say, I think we have to mention at this point, obviously, we were going, oh, here we go, Zandia in trouble in the mid lane. Larson going to be walking forwards. Furion is here as well, but Furion's incredibly low and will go down. Zandia looking for the 2 versus 1. He's actually nearly winning this one out. Larson having to back away. Zandia still alive. Scudzy
tried.
Point blank Sonic Wave into the minion. But it doesn't matter. XL once again win the trade. And I want to put this into perspective for you guys. In case anyone missed week 1, in case anyone missed last season, MNM's roster right now, they are heavy favourites. Walking into this game, on paper, you feel like to be honest, I don't want to be mean to XL or anything, but you feel like it should be a stomp because of just how good MNM have been in the past. But right now, that's not what it looks like at all. This is phenomenal play coming out from XL. Cannot commend them enough.
Last Remedy we must be looking at is thinking, what the blinking hell? You know, we thought MNM were going to be our biggest competition, but XL are bringing a real set of tough choices, or a real set of tough competition coming out. And Zandia a little bit aggressive under the turret there. Larsen's forced to pull, and Zandia might have to head back. But honestly, super impressed with XL thus far, and very impressed with this combo between Zandia and Scudzy. Really punished Furion, and I've got to say that Lee Sin pick was fantastic, because you know, as Lee Sin, you can make those kind of exploits against these junglers that go low on their first clear. He took his camp. All credit to Tolkien, who put a lot of pressure onto that camp to allow him to do it quickly. That allowed him to get into that jungle and deal with Furion after that blue buff was getting completed. Really solid. I've got to say, maybe a mistake by Furion to stick around, but what were you really going to lose by just backing out there? But, you know, XL played on that mistake, and they've managed to punish for it.
Yeah, they absolutely have. And Zandia is running away with this game right now. Look at the gold. 1,000 ahead of his lane opponent right now. We are 7 minutes into the game. A full 1,000 gold on a singular player is just crazy at this early stage. And he's doing a fantastic job. Smiley, incredibly low. Jokerism doing a fantastic job of layering down the pressure. And Orcs and Jokerism both still on full HP in this bottom lane. They're doing such a good job. Just across the board, XL are soaring in this game. 2,000 gold lead across the team.
Okay, well, I'm going to take back that this composition obviously had some sort of plan. And that plan is just apply as much pressure to MNM early, because I guess they feel that if they win early, then they can just snowball before before MNM have a chance to bring their sort of superior, I guess, almost decision-making team play coming out. Because there's no secret that XL have struggled with their ability to make those big decision plays at the last moment. And they think if they can win, if they can play, basically they're playing MNM at their own game. Win lane, win game. And right now, XL are winning lane.
Yeah, they certainly are, but it's whether or not they can continue to snowball this one. Things have slowed down just a little bit, and to be honest, I don't think that's the end of the world for XL, just because they're the ones with the lead. It means that if they just kind of freeze frame the lead as it is right now and can consistently keep it at that distance, they will be able to just control the map. I'm not sure that was worth the auto to take a tower shot there, Sandia.
It's all about sending a message, my friend.
Absolutely. Well, they were looking for a dive right there, but onto Vladimir, not sure that's the greatest idea, and they have decided to back away.
And look at XL's vision. It's gone through the roof compared to what it was versus Sensei. They've started getting deep vision in. Scudzy's being aggressive in his jungling. They've got pink wards controlling the dragon area, and look at Tolkien go on to Only Angel.
Yeah, they're going for the 1v1 right now, but it's a fairly even trade across the board, to be quite honest, but Tolkien is more than happy to go for those even trades. Larsen in trouble once again. That's going to be unlimited power, but it's going to be limited damage as Larsen does just about survive.
Yeah, that was... and I'm just giving some props to my boy there for a nice solid cleanup of the ult with the Syndra. And that was, I guess, with Ignite, it would have been the kill, but it's far riskier to take Ignite and hope that you're going to pick up the kills. Fury on the target.
Oh, the Sonic Wave goes through. What a play from Scudzy. Flashed for that one. The Cell Division, I think he's going to be able to get back up off the back of this one. No, he's not. Look at the damage out of Zandia. Finishes him off with ease. Another kill onto the Syndra. Almost double the CS of Larsen right now. Solo kill in the top lane for Tolkien. XL are playing out of their minds.
Oh, wow. Look at the sliver of health that Tolkien's had. They're waiting for the minion wave to push up so they can put pressure onto the turret. But look at this. Win lane, win game. It is a 3k gold advantage onto XL. I can look at my boy Munchable's face, and he is about as in disbelief as I am.
Where was this team last game?
Where was this team during this? I guess it's just like this. We saved Super Saiyan from when we really need it, and XL have just gone Super Saiyan.
It's like I'm watching Virtus Pro play League of Legends right now, because it's like, oh, Zandia actually in a lot of trouble. Larsen looking to finish him off, and I think he should be able to do so right here. Although, does get the scat of the week and ghosts away. So, I eat my words. Zandia walks away with that one.
He also prioritized tier 2 boots very early, so got extra movement speed out of that ghost.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, these micro decisions being made is just giving XL these tiny little edges that they need. The more edges you build up, you get a full-fledged blade, and that's when you go for the kill.
Absolutely. Well, what I was saying before as well about Virtus Pro, for any of you guys who don't follow CSGO, Virtus Pro is a team that is renowned for playing to the level of their opponents. Whoever they seem to be against, that's the level they play at. And it means good and bad things depending on what situation they're in. But right now, XL, against one of the best teams in the UK that everyone's pretty much expecting to be the favourite, they are pulling an absolute blinder and easily playing to the level that we expect out of MNM. And, well, what a fantastic performance. I can't believe what we're witnessing right now.
No, I mean, this is almost that hyped up sort of... I can imagine the XL TeamSpeak right now is like, guys, don't get excited, keep playing your game, but every time a kill comes through, it's like, come on, boys!
Nice!
Nice! This is great because the more pressure you put onto the top teams, the sort of more you force them to be that level that we know that they can be. And wow, and Scudsy's here, Only Angel.
Yeah, nice little dash by Only Angel. Almost pulls him to safety, but the Chrono Break has to be used back into the enemies. He will not go down, he survives, and here comes Furion. Let's bounce, he says, as he bounces Tolkien out of the server. Furion will take a lot of damage from Scudsy, though, and here comes the rest of the team. Zandia picks up the kill onto the top laner. Furion will go down in the 1v1 jungle on jungle, mano a mano, and that is going to be 8-2 now, a 5,000 gold lead for XL.
A classic Scudsy just forgoes any form of defense, has gone straight into the Hex Drinker to deal with the Vladimir and the Zac damage and the Echo damage to an extent. We'll always have that shield. Larssen really, I think for the majority, trying to clear through. Oh my word!
What? Zandia, that was ham, but he gets away with it. Somehow survives that tower shot. Larssen just about survives the encounter, but I think Larssen right now is just wondering what on earth is going on. I don't think anyone on the side of MNM was just expecting anywhere near the level of aggression. Zandia opting to stay in lane right now. Get out of there, man. You're on about 100 HP.
Here comes Yasuo, though. In this bot lane, let's not, you know, stray away from that. Jokerism has been doing a fantastic job of consistently applying pressure. Karma and Jin just have not had the time in lane that they potentially would have wanted to. And look at this, the lane swap had to come through here for Only Angel. He just cannot go toe-to-toe with Tolkien in lane right now.
No, he definitely cannot. He's gone over toward that mid lane, and I think they're just hoping that Tolkien will be able to be dealt with by the likes of Larssen. And I think it might actually potentially be the other way around, where Only Angel's like, look, I'll be able to deal with Zandia. You don't worry about that. But it is going to be Larssen heading back towards the mid lane once again. But Tolkien will be able to find that top lane tower. So 2 towers now for XL. And well, we mentioned that their plan was to snowball. They are doing exactly that.
Do you know when we talked about the win condition?
Look at the gold. Look at the gold in the mid lane.
It's ridiculous. It's like a 3,000 advantage almost to Zandia.
Insane.
So there was a couple of storylines that we pointed out in the Champ Select that Zandia had to prove himself, and XL's composition had to win lane, win game. That's kind of like the one win condition that they had. They specifically picked to be aggressive, and that was their win condition. Well, it's kind of coming true, because they are winning lane and they could potentially win game. And Zandia has been proving himself against his opposing mid laner of Larssen. Admittedly on what I would say is one of the power picks in the mid lane here. And in comes Tolkien.
Yeah, and he's not going to... Oh, he is going to go for this one. Go straight back onto Larssen. I thought he was going to back away, but decides that's not the call he wants to make. Let's not pretend that XL are going to be passive at any point in this game. Dragon going to be started off by Scudsy and Zandia. No contestant whatsoever going to come out from MNM.
Tolkien right now managed to dodge out a Zac gank here. Larssen's going in. Hema Plague will get the healing, but nothing more. And Tolkien looks like he's building towards his own Hex Drinker. Like, everybody really respecting what Vladimir can do, but also the fact that the majority of the damage coming out here for MNM is mainly magic stacked. You know, you have got what appears to be a Triforce Echo being built up. But, you know, you still got a large amount of magic damage that comes out from Echo. You've got Vladimir, Zac, and Karma, and then it's just Jin on top of that providing the physical damage. So, yeah, everyone prioritizing what appears to be a Hex Drinker here, and I like that. I think that's a good decision-making process from XL, and they're still continuing to apply the pressure. They actually end up getting a Dragon, and now working towards getting their bot lane turret too.
Absolutely, it is going to be Jokerism starting to push that lane in as fast as he can, and when you're playing that Varus, that is very easily done. Those piercing arrows do just melt through the minion waves, and now he's going to be heading towards this tower. Smiley going to be struggling in this lane to deal with the pressure. 10 CS down at this point, but we'll be able to clean up a couple of these minions.
Yeah, and Jokerism's picked up his mana immune now, so we'll start to be able to stack up his damage also, and just on top of that tier. Got a note to XL taking the Rift Herald away here. That'll be off the map now. That's going to go over to Tolkien, give him that split push pressure. Looking very good for XL thus far.
It certainly is, and I'm curious now that they've got those top two Tier 1 towers, what is the next objective? Where do they go from here? Because they've got a huge lead to work with, but they've got to keep up this pressure. They can't afford to let MNM just turtle this one out and get to the late game, because when they get to the late game against a Jin and a Vladimir, as well as an Echo, that's going to be scary.
Oh, look at the damage Smiley is taking from a full frontal piercing arrow coming up. Jokerism wants this. He's going straight in.
I'm not surprised at all. Invisible Karma abilities coming on through here. Orcs needs to block the curtain call, but actually it's just going to be Jokerism dodging back and forth. Here come the top laners though. It's Tolkien and Furion actually from the jungle arriving on the scene. He knows that he needs to protect his AD carry right now. Smiley, he has to go back to base, and that means Jokerism can just continue to push this under the tower.
Looks like a Monsoon's going to be used to push Jokerism back to full HP. They're more prioritizing just getting a healthy siege, and as Scuddy draws closer, that looks like what they're going for, because only Angel had been freezing in the top lane. So that's just going to force Tolkien to roam around the map. He still has a 10 CS advantage. This is going to be another turret going down to XL, and I cannot believe it. They've opened up an almost 7k gold lead over MNM.
This is actually insane, and I'm so impressed by XL. I want them to continue to impress me, to be honest, but we'll see if they're going to be able to keep this snowball rolling. So far, they're doing an absolutely phenomenal job, and Manalite right now, or MNM, sorry, I've cast an entire season of them under that name. It's hard to get out of my
I did it on my predictions as well. I was like, yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. Sorry, Calvin, it's nothing personal, but yeah, I've got to be honest, they've got to have their heads in their hands at this point and wondering what on earth is going on. Tolkien dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodging his way out of this one, but I'm not sure how long he'll be able to get away with it. He will be shut down on this one. The flashes come in. They do not want to let this kill get away, but it will do so. There's the win wall. Orcs comes in with the shield, and that is going to be the knock-up coming on through. Tolkien survives, and it's a double kill for Zandio once they finish off the Cell division. What is going on? The teamwork.
XL playing out of their minds. The rotations coming round. I cannot believe Tolkien held on to that last breath until the absolute final moment for the scat of the week. He could have used it on the Janna ultimate. He didn't because he thought it would spell death. He waited for the scat of the week and they managed to combo it. He gets the shield back. It's very hard to take out. Oh my word, XL. What are you doing to my heart? I cannot take this.
Hashtag palpitations right now, but I mean, right now, if you look at the map where they are positioned, it looks more like we're watching a Banditos game. The way they're just layering on the pressure on every single lane. Scudzy comes into the mid lane. This is going to be a tier 2 going down. I was saying, what is going to be the next objective? That is going to be exactly it. They're taking down towers left, right, and center. 4-0. 1 dragon to 0. 10 kills to 2.
We have not seen a 10k gold advantage against Manalite, against MNM, since their Manalite
since
versus
finals.
Yeah, since their Manalite versus Renegades game. And Scudzy waiting here. He is going to get spotted out by Furion. But do you want this?
I was going to say
Furion?
That's not a good thing for Furion. Cell division on cooldown. That's another kill for Tolkien. Thank you very much. Only Angel's all the way up here on his own. He gets shut down. Double kill for the Yasuo. He's going to be more than happy.
XL have dragged MNM down to the solo queue level of play, where they're saying, nope, we're just going to continuously skirmish you, drag you down, win because we have better dueling champions, and they're going to get another siege onto a tier 2 turret here, Munchables. This is insane.
Yeah, they don't quite have the damage to take it on this minion wave. Look at the damage on Tahado. He has to flash away. Another summoner burnt. All they have to do is wait for this next minion wave, and they will be able to finish off that tower, or they can go elsewhere. They can clean up this entire jungle, take the blue buff, set up vision around Baron. They could do whatever they damn well please at this stage.
Okay, this is just ridiculous. They're going to get another tier 2 here. They've opened that gold lead to over 10k against the second place team, essentially, from last season. And they're going to be looking to prioritize and maybe head for Baron following. Can MNM even respond to a Baron should XL go for it? Are they even in a position to contest it?
Yeah, and let's just put this into context, right? This MNM roster, this was the one that came second last season. The only team that was able to beat them was a team that pretty much all went on to play in LCS. That's the tier of team that was the only one that could beat them. And right now, XL, they're not just beating them, they are dominating them.
Let's bring this down a little bit back to earth, because XL have always had a problem with closing games out. So we are super excited about this lead right now. But XL do have that ability to choke and struggle to finish games. They need to step that up. They need to make sure they relentlessly apply pressure here, because if they give MNM any time of day, you're going to get this composition come back online. The biggest thing for me is that Jokerism is a whole item ahead of his opposing partner. 3 items, by the way, including a Void Staff prioritized, sorry, not almost 3 items, 2.5 items, or including a Void Staff prioritized for Zandia. It's going to rip straight through that Spirit Visage of Larson. And look at this, the siege is coming through. And this is what I said, their siege is great if they're massively ahead. And they are massively ahead, so the siege is really starting to play into its own.
Yeah, still 4,000 gold ahead of Larson is Zandia right now, and just doing ridiculous things for his team. Long range stun onto Furion just to kind of rub salt in the wounds. This is the final tier 2 going down, and this is the point in the game where XL, now they've got to really kind of turn it up a notch. They've got to break into the base.
This is like their mental block. The inhibitor turrets have always been XL's mental block, and they need to somehow find a way to make it work for them. The way it's worked for them in the past is getting Baron and allowing Tolkien to be a god of the split push. I think that could be a viable tactic. I don't know if MNM have what it takes right now to contest Baron. I mean, this is a 22-minute Echo with no Triforce. This is Furion, who hasn't even finished an item past his jungle item. This is XL, who have just put on one of the best performances I have ever seen from them as a team.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an organization, to be honest. And well, they are looking to prioritize vision around this Baron area right now. Furion going to get a ward down, trying to clear what vision he can, trying to make sure that his presence is at least known. But Tolkien heading down to this bottom lane. He knows what his job is. He's going to continue to split push with that Rift Herald buff.
Here he goes.
Actually just looking for Early Angel, who just scoots straight on out of there, wants none of it. Jokerism just going to continue to hammer down at the health bars of MNM right now. They can just set up vision around Baron. They can clear all of the vision from their opponents and basically say to MNM, look, you either face check us or we just take Baron. What are you going to do?
They need to respond to Tolkien as well, because he's putting loads of pressure onto Echo. They know that Baron's going on now, but it's going down moderately quickly, but not quick enough for MNM to not respond.
Absolutely. Jokerism did actually just use his ultimate there to try and stop the engage, which could be a big deal moving forwards here. Jokerism, obviously the AD carry, not doing damage right now. Furion jumps on in, but Scudzy gets away with his life. Everybody incredibly low, though. This could be the opportunity. In goes Larson, looking to deal damage. Furion picks up 1 kill, and they're chasing for more as well. Jokerism is going to fall down in the meantime. We do have the split push continuing. Only Angel going to be recalling for that one, but Larson's incredibly low. Zandia out of mana, though. Furion gets the slow with his elastic arms. A nice little scatter of the week, though, will knock them away. Dodges the route. Furion pushing forwards. He has his cell division available, but they can't push any further. Tolkien was pushed away. The tower survives. It is just going to be a 2-for-1.
Oh, XL, I feel like if you're going to commit to Baron, you commit Jokerism as well, because he's a main portion of your ability to take it down quickly. You need your AD there. You're not going to be able to do it with just the Titanic Hydra and the Lee Sin. But Tolkien tried to get the inhibitor turret, and that was so close to going down, especially with that Rift Herald buff. It feels like it's only a matter of time before MNM start to get their bearings. They're still 11k down, though, so XL have got a lot of gold advantage to play with here. Kind of play to your strengths. Just try sieging again with the fact that you are just so far ahead. You know, you can use the Varus, you can use the Syndra to just siege properly. You don't have to go for Baron, for instance. Baron is kind of like the area where Zack's going to have the biggest impact, Larson's going to have the biggest impact. You just play into an area where actually things go heavily in the favor of MNM.
And the thing is, let's bear in mind that that wasn't a lost fight for XL. Yes, it was 2-for-1, but at the end of the day, Tolkien didn't use his teleport, only Angel did. So now they just reset up this split push, get the pressure in the bottom lane, set up around Baron, and just say, look, only Angel, you can either teleport and lose an inhibitor, or you can lose the Baron.
I wouldn't commit to it, though. I would try and make it look like you're doing Baron, but allow Tolkien to make the split push. This is probably why you're seeing only Angel now actually move directly away from that bot lane. This is MNM saying that we force a fight now, or we end up losing that bot lane inhibitor turret.
Furion is going to go in for this one, wants to protect his blue buff. Only Angel has arrived up in the top lane. That means that Tolkien will push as hard as he can. And this is the moment for XL. They've got to make the right decision. If their shot calling is on point right now, they just about win the game off of this push. That is going to be the inhibitor tower going down in the bottom lane. Does Tolkien commit? Looks like he will be doing so. and is going to back away finally, but has teleport still available. They're going to start off Baron right now, and Tolkien going for the 1v1 against Only Angel, making sure that that top laner cannot leave this situation. They've backed away off Baron, and they're just winning out the situation completely. Tower for free, didn't even need to get a kill.
No, he got the inhibitor tower. He's actually going to go back and try and take the inhibitor too. This is a lot of pressure coming down for Tolkien. Really doing a good job here for XL. He's going to get stunned up, but I don't know if Only Angel even has it in him to duel. Xantia is dominating.
Yeah, here we go. Fight has gone on. It's a mid laner for a support. Definitely a trade that MNM are happy to take. Jokerism tanking up the curtain call. Trades it, but so close to going down. Deadly Flourish can't quite finish off the kill, but there's the dot. Tick over time, and here goes Jokerism. Scudzy and Orcs, the last two remaining here. The split push continues, but I think they might be losing members. There goes the inhibitor. Scudzy just about flashes away to safety. They will walk away with their lives, but an inhibitor has gone down.
A 2-for-1 and an inhibitor taken for XL is not a bad trade whatsoever. Pressure's going to mount up in that bot lane now. But though these team fights are starting to go the way of MNM in terms of 4 versus 4, and you imagine that you really need Tolkien now to try and have a full impact in a team fight situation. Dragon is up, and it looks like it's the Infernal Drake as well, so that could be a crucial take here for XL. MNM look like they want to try and react. No, it's not.
It's the Mountain Drake. But that is still going to be huge, right? They're trying to siege. This is the moment where they've got to actually make the difference and push on into the MNM base. They've already got one inhibitor, and now they've got to turn it into more. The Mountain Drake perfectly lends to that goal, and they will be able to take that one away. And this is the moment right now for XL. Obviously, this is their moment to shine. This is their game right now. They've been doing so well, but obviously, these last couple of team fights haven't quite gone as planned. They've been losing out in terms of the actual kills. Obviously, they've continued that split push pressure, but as you rightly said, they've got a history of not really being able to finish out those games. They cannot let that get on top of their mentality. They've got to keep this ball rolling.
The momentum is slowly starting, you feel, to slow up here for XL. However, taking that bot lane inhibitor is pretty big, but then they need to figure out where they're going to move with it next. They continue to have Tolkien split against that bot lane inhibitor to apply pressure to the Nexus towers, or do you allow him to go into the top lane, for instance? But, you know, you are then drawing MNM towards the Baron area, which is kind of where you want to have an impact, or you want to at least win the game out from there. So, I don't know, this is a difficult one now for XL. If I were XL, I'd probably just leave Tolkien split pushing the bot lane. Just keep pushing towards Nexus towers, because, you know, those super minions, you stack them up, they will take a Nexus tower very easily with Tolkien, especially. I think that Rift Herald buff hasn't dropped yet, but it will be close to dropping soon. He should be able to put pressure onto Nexus towers, which is big for MNM.
Yeah, especially with that Mountain Drake in their possession as well. They'll be able to chunk it down so quickly. And just, to be honest, right now, you've got to be looking towards Smiley. He's going to be the shining light for MNM if they are going to come back into this game. 3-0-1 on that Jhin. 260 farm at 27 minutes. So considering how far behind his team is, that is a phenomenal stat to be putting up. And Jokerism actually 40 farm down at this stage in the game. So realistically, when you look at the AD carry specifically, Jokerism's actually behind his opponent. Smiley, despite the 10,000 gold deficit of his team, is still managing to get a lead for himself, which, I mean, you've got to commend the guy. And if they can just keep him in the game, if they can keep him alive in fights, he can win those team fights.
You saw how impactful he was with Curtain Call against Jokerism, especially with the Deathfire Touch keystone that Jin's run. You do get that massive damage over time once your final flourish hits. It's a difficult one to know how to deal with, because really XL, when it comes down to an actual teamfight situation, you either need to have Scudzy make a flank play, or you need to have Tolkien there to deal with Jhin specifically. Yasuo is really good into Jhin in almost every situation. Yasuo just absolutely dominates Jhin. But they have this paradox where they've been winning the game because Tolkien's been split pushing, but they need Tolkien to win the game in a team fight. So do you bring Tolkien and try and go for a 5v5, or do you allow Tolkien to continue to push in the bot lane, which is proved to have so much success so far? Because the guy, we talked about this matchup between Only Angel and Tolkien. Only Angel, Tolkien, and Rifty were like the 3 of the 4 big who haven't moved on to LCS UK top laners from last season. And Tolkien is taking the Alfari killer and just mashing him into the floor.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, as you rightly say, to see how they use this Yasuo. Whether they opt to bring him into team fights now that bottom lane inhibitor is down. Both teleports are going to be available for this next setup. So it's really going to be an interesting question, because I feel like only Angel can continue to go into that split push role and just clear away the super minions. Obviously, they need someone to be there. He'll have his teleport available. But if Tolkien commits to going in that team fight role, with the teleport available for their opponents, it no longer really has that same effect. So maybe send him up to the top lane while they pressure Baron or something along those lines. It's a difficult call to make.
Absolutely, and only Angel's going down armor now, and obviously with the Frozen Mallet build coming out from Tolkien, you essentially gimp your ability to burst a target specifically. You build Frozen Mallet to play in the 1v1. It gives you better chase potential, much like Gnar builds a Frozen Mallet to chase it down 1v1. You build a Frozen Mallet really on Yasuo for a 1v1. If you were going to single-handedly delete someone like XD Smiley off the map on Jhin, you'd be having that Infinity Edge way earlier. With the Phantom Dance and Frozen Mallet, your 1v1 ability in a split push scenario is almost unparalleled. And you saw he could even deal with Gnar with, when he managed to pick up his own Frozen Mallet. So this is a build that will continuously apply pressure to Only Angel, and Only Angel can't respond particularly well. So I think bringing him into a teamfight situation, he's not going to have the damage you would expect a Yasuo to have when he's 3-1-3.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, one of the players on MNM currently having a couple of internet issues, so we're just waiting for that to be resolved so we can head back into this series and see whether XL can continue the snowball rolling. Because right now, if you guys have only just tuned in, XL have a commanding lead over MNM, which is a sentence I was not expecting to be saying tonight, to be quite honest.
I mean, look, I went through draft phase and I thought, what have XL done? Like, I'm not. I'll hold my hands up. I'm not going to suddenly pretend like I thought it was a good composition. I still don't think it's a good composition, to be quite frank. But it doesn't matter when you've picked a composition that is slightly off, and you have a jungler like Scudzy who goes ham at level 2. You snowball the game essentially from there. You could have picked any composition, I think, for XL. If the game had played the same way, they would still be in this position, because it's literally that paradox, or not even paradox, that old parable of win lane, win game. It's what everyone talked about for Renegades last season. It was like this MNM, or the old man like they were called then, they were known as this team that had really well thought out tactics. Although they won lane a lot of the time, they still had tactics that made sense, rotations, all this kind of stuff all over the place. Then you had Renegades who were just like, YOLO, kill everybody in lane, win game.
Yeah, it's like, why do we need to rotate when we just push all three lanes at the same time,
exactly.
Right?
They picked things like Kindred, Fiora, they had like a dominant mid laner, a dominant bot lane.
Consistently like Thresh,
Kalista, Fiora, Kindred, or Lee, and a dominant mid laner. The composition made like almost zero sense on like a grand scale, but it didn't need to make sense on a grand scale because they won every single lane. So they just, like you said, pushed all 3 lanes in at the same time and no one could deal with it. The thing is with XL is they've done the same thing here, and it's against MNM, which no one would have expected to happen. So this is XL back. This is like XL winning a poker tournament and then going back into another Pokemon tournament and putting all of their winnings on themselves to win. It's a very confident move, but maybe confidence is all you need going up against something like this. With that kind of confident play, XL have propelled themselves to a 10k gold advantage with a composition that isn't particularly meta, shouldn't make that much sense, but it does, because they're winning so hard.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to see whether just pure confidence and just the ability to continue to pressure the opponents is going to be what's required. I can confirm that MNM are all back onto the servers right now, so we should be able to get this game rocking and rolling again for you guys in just a few seconds time. But now the question comes up of, let's start to talk about Tolkien's positioning again, because we've already mentioned how the bottom lane inhibitor has gone down. Do you think the right call is for him to go into that top lane and try and pressure another lane, or do you think it's just to try and go for team fights? I mean, where does he go from here?
I just think sit bot lane. I know you don't have any objectives to take, but it's all about the pressure that you're going to put onto MNM through pushing super wave after super wave into bot lane. Echo has got just a Triforce. His clear potential is not good against large amount of super minion waves coming in. And you have teleport, and Baron is really where you're going to be contesting. So you want to make sure you are drawing attention as far enough away from Baron so that your team can get it. And then obviously if they do then trade, you just take Nexus turrets off the map. And if if they your team get out, it's even better for it. I think bringing him into a team fight with this build, he's not going to be as impactful as you think you'd want him to be. If he gets Infinity Edge and finishes it soon, then maybe bring him into a team fight situation. But right now, he's not in a position where I actually think his team fight build is as strong as his 1v1. But you've got to look at the fact that XL are all in. Like all of their builds are just full damage, really. Obviously, apart from what Janna's bringing, because she just doesn't go full damage. But Scudsy, Death Cap Janna. Scudsy, again, he's gone into Titanic Hydra, which, you could say is kind of tanky, but realistically, this is just Lee Sin trying to be a full-on assassin damage dealer. I think there is the potential for him to join into a team fight, but mainly as a utility form. So Scudsy makes a safeguard into kick play, which instantaneously knocks up Jhin, which is obviously then acted upon by Tolkien. If you take out Jhin, I think you just win the game. But it's a tough decision to make because XL seem to be losing the 4v4 right now quite consistently.
Yeah, I think that's one of the key things is like the mechanical prowess on these players from MNM. Even when they're this far behind, they can still win out those fights. And that is a terrifying concept. And I mean, in that last fight, we saw Smiley go for the curtain call, immediately just aim for Jokerism and just say, look, you're all on your own. There's no one to protect you. He was even charging a piercing arrow at the time. So he just basically was a sitting duck in the line of fire. But here we go. We're back onto the Rift. MNM have returned to us once again. And we should be able to continue this game and see what the call is going to be for XL. Where do they go from here? Can they continue to snowball this lead? And can they push this into a 1-0 advantage in the series? We've already seen tonight they are able to take those games and able to win them out, but they certainly seem to struggle to finish things off. But here against MNM, they've been putting on such a stellar performance. I actually just really want to see XL really finish this one out now.
No, I feel like everybody roots for the underdog in almost every situation. So I'm looking forward to potentially seeing XL at least contest in a series. I think that's the biggest thing. Oh, whoa, Furion.
Yeah, here we go. Furion flashing for this one and everything. Frontline Jokerism baits him on into the fight, but will be able to survive. Takes half of his damage. But as Zac, that's not too much of a concern. And in the meantime, we've had a 1v1, but it's a shutdown going in the way of Furion, trading mid laner for mid laner. In the meantime, Tolkien continuing to pressure in the bottom lane. Smiley flashing forward, gets knocked up and exhausted and shut down by Jokerism. This AD carry means business, and he's going to shut down the jungler as well at this rate. He will get that kill. Cell Division goes on through, but it's not enough to save his life. Hado will be chased on down by Scudsy, and that will be the kill onto Furion. Hado flashes away. In the meantime, the top lane is continuing to battle in the bottom lane.
And this is exactly what I wanted Tolkien to do, just apply pressure to Only Angel so that he can't react. It's a risky Baron to go for it. He's actually going to teleport in, I think, to do the majority of the tank in here. Jokerism really has got not any lifesteal right now, so it will be difficult, but they should get Baron. This will mean that Tolkien can split push, but he has lost that teleport for a key situation, which Only Angel will have over him. But what other key situations are you going to have apart from Baron? And obviously that teleport will be back up by the next time the Baron is there as well. So we're going to have the split push king, Tolkien, with the Infinity Edge, with the Baron, and he's going to start to make his mark on this top lane.
Yeah, he certainly will. And I think XL right now, they're just going to go around the jungle, sweep up the minions as they wait for the rest of their team to recall, and then go to try and finish this one out, choke their opponents out of this game. And we'll see whether they've got what it takes. With the Baron in play, this should be enough. And just send Tolkien up to the top lane while the rest of the team pushes mid, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter what way round, but with this Baron, they should be able to finish things off. But the fight is kicking off. Jokerism's been caught out. Disaster for XL. Tolkien as well, so low. Will be able to escape. Gets a triple knockup, but Scudsy's now in trouble. Orcs gets a nice little monsoon to save his teammates. Dodges the deadly flourish and will just about survive. But Jokerism did go down. Fantastic pick for MNM, and they're looking for a mid lane tower.
Oh, Jokerism, you cannot allow that to happen to yourself. He's actually built a build that is exactly equivalent to that of the Jhin, for instance. Scudsy's just buying time, by the way, for Syndra to try and take another turret.
And he will be able to do so. Gets that turret going down. Only Angel, you can't win that 1v1. What are you doing?
He's going to go for the inhibitor.
Finishes it off, goes for the inhibitor right now. Furion looking to try and punish him, looking to try and finish him off. Will get, no, he doesn't get the knockback. What a play from Zandia. Fantastic scat of the week. Almost going to survive. I think he will go down in the end. The inhibitor still going.
He's still there.
Smiley so close to going down. The minions nearly finish it. One more hit and it is going to be the super cannon to take the inhibitor. What a play out of Zandia. Gets the inhib all on his own. Furion's in trouble right now because Tolkien's going for the backline. Finishes him off. Larson has to flash away, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. They don't chase this one out though in the end. They go for the mid lane inhibitor tower. They're going for the mid lane inhibitor. 3 inhibs right now. 30 minutes into the game. 15,000 gold lead for XL, and they are looking to finish this one off.
And they should be able to. They've got a little bit of time. They might back off after the 3 inhibitors because it could be risky. Larson trying to be aggressive. He's not got the flash right now. Tolkien goes in.
Look at the damage coming out. Smiley gets deleted by Tolkien as well. Only Angel, there's nothing he can do. Chrono Break won't save you now, my friend. He gets knocked up and finished off. Tolkien with the double kill. The Nexus towers drop. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an upset on our hands. XL Esports managed to take the first game in this best of 3 against MNM. What did we just witness? XL pulling, just knocking it out of the park right now.
We just witnessed hashtag XLing. That is XL's brand in a nutshell. The Super Saiyan mode engaged. And XL are 1 win away from making it to our MCM finals. And if they play like that every single game, they could very well take the entire thing. MNM must be left reeling after that game. They've got to win another 2 back-to-back. It's getting late. Tired eyes are starting to play, and XL are full of adrenaline. What is going to happen in this next game, Munchables?
That is going to be the question. I'm just going to throw to a break straight away because I cannot wait to get into this next game of the series. I just want to get this rolling. So we're going to go for a couple of minutes, but we will be back in a few to see whether XL can clinch their spot in playoffs or whether MNM are going to be able to pull themselves back into this series.